Good day, sir. I am Josel A. Provizano Primasio, BS Screen 31G. The oral recitation to Criminal Law 1. The first question is, differentiate the worship rule from private merchant vessel rule in terms of which country will acquire jurisdiction over crimes committed on board the vessel. The private merchant vessel must be registered with Marina or Maritime Industry and Authority. RPC is applicable if the vessel in the Philippine water or in the high seas. Kung ang Philippine ship na yan o pribadong pangnegosyong barko ay nasa teritoryo ng ibang bansa, subject na yan sa batas ng bansa na yan. Nagdepende na yan sa rule ng isang bansa. While the worship rule, worship of another country, extension of territory of country, even if docked in the Philippines. Ito yung barkong pandigma na pagmamay-ari ng isang bansa. Kahit saan man ito nakadaong or whatever crime na makumit doon sa loob ng barko. Dahil ito ay considered na extension of territory of the another country. Question number 2. Discuss the reason why terms felony and offense are used interchangeable in the revised penal code. Pag ang crime na pinag-usapan ay punished under RPC, ang term ay felony. Pag ang crime na pinag-usapan ay special law, ang term ay offense. Ang dalawang terms na ito ay ginagamit interchangeable doon sa revised penal code. Kung babasahin sa RPC, ang paggamit ay offense or felony. Ang term na offense ay nakita doon sa RPC. So, kahit offense ang ginamit, it is still to be understood na felony. That is why ang felony at offense ay interchangeable use in the RPC. Question number 3. Explain general characteristics of criminal law in terms of general rule. General rule under characteristics of criminal law is that obligatory. Ibig sabihin, lahat ay obligado sumunod. That is why the definition is all who live or sojourn in Philippine territory. Pag sinabing live, ito ay applicable sa Filipino citizen. Pag sinabing sojourn, that is about temporary stay in a particular place that applies to foreigners. Whether Filipino or foreigners, all are obliged under the law. If there is any violation of the law, all have to answer. In every rule, there is an exception, so that is subject to principle of treaty stipulations, law of preferential application, public international law. The treaty stipulations a formal written agreement between two or more nations. In other words, it is an agreement but that is with more particularity agreement between two or more countries. While the preferential application, pag sinabing prefer, ay ibig sabihin ay to choose o merong pagpipili sa batas. The public international law naman, there are persons exempted from criminal prosecution. The question number 4. Explain territorial characteristics of criminal in terms of general rule. General rule, penal laws of Philippines. Effective only within its territory. Mag-apply lang ang batas natin o mag-work there is within. Meaning sa loob lang ng teritoryo natin. Our laws apply only within our limits of our territory. So, alam natin na in every rule there's an exemption. Sa general rule ng exemption, the extraterritoriality, meaning mag-apply ang batas natin kahit na ang krimen ay nakumit outside the territory. The question number 5 is, explain prospective characteristics of criminal law in terms of the general rule. Prospective in general rule, penal laws cannot make an act punishable in a manner in which it was not punishable when committed. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang criminal law daw ay hindi pwedeng ipunish sa isang paggawa. Nung ginawa ito, wala pang batas na nagbabawal at saka nagbibigay ng punishment. Ang pag-take ng batas ay paabante, hindi paatras. That is the meaning of prospective. That is the general rule. In every rule, there is an exemption, meaning, in exception to the rule, ay pwedeng iatras ang batas. The retroactive application of penal law, ibig sabihin nito ay ang pag-atras ng application ng penal law. Kailan iatras ang batas? Kung ito ay pabor sa akusado. The last question is, explain concept of social contract theory. In social contract theory says that people live together in society in accordance with an agreement that establishes moral and political rules of behavior.